Welcome back, MTG Joe here, and today we are going to be trying an update to my historic mono red deck. We had the latest set Baldur's Gate come in, and it impacts historic as well. And a card I wanted to try, played a couple games with it and seems pretty good, is Ambergris Citadel Agent. So really this is a 3 mana. It attacks you with haste, you get to discard your hand and then draw 2 cards. Provides card advantage if you have no cards in hand. So unlike Seasoned Pyromancer, this doesn't get hit by Strict Proctor in terms of enter the battlefield. You also don't need to have cards in hand in order to draw cards or like get the kind of some of the value. It also just has the ability to specialize later. So then if you discard a card, in our case everything's red except Burning Tree Emissary. When it does, it deals X damage, where X is the number of cards to each opponent, so you can kind of churn through your deck. For the most part, it's going to be a 3-2 that provides us card advantage. I don't know what the green one does. You have to put counters on it. It's a very fringe case if it comes up with Burning Tree, but I've kind of tweaked the list. I got rid of Goblin Chainwhirler. DRC's been nerfed. Cat Oven's been nerfed as well. We've seen an uptick of Elves, and you normally would say Elves, lots of 1/1s, but they have so many Lord effects that Chainwhirler doesn't come down fast enough a lot of times. So I wanted to maximize on the amount of burn damage. This also can help in like the Wizards matchups with the Stomps as well. Gives me enough 1-drops that kind of take advantage, because now we're going to want to empty our hand even faster. So it's another way to kind of play with that. With Elves, we want to go back onto the Embercleave plan. It seems like a reasonable call. I always like Ferocidon as anti-life gain, and it does work well against like Elves and stuff to ping, so we'll give this a shot, see how it goes. Today has been, everyone knows, there's some days you win at Arena, and other days Arena beats you. Today is one of those days where every video I've recorded today, I've started with saying, hopefully we don't run into X deck, because that's our worst matchup, and then proceeded to play nothing but X deck. And not only were we playing nothing but X deck, they basically had God hands. And some days that happens, especially in Best of One, where you're going to kind of get some inherent variance. But, alright, so they're on Jingantha, which means they're on Sacrifice or Niv-Mizzet. This hand is not great against Niv-Mizzet, but we'll give this a shot. Sacrifice. Ooh, mono red burn. So we'll put Karizev there. So one thing you want to be mindful of is the timing around prowess. I will want to take the soul. Oh, it's Izzet. This is the worst matchup. So I'm gonna attack here. Just pass the turn. It's a bit of a tricky game. This is by far the worst matchup. The fact that they have 3 toughness and stuff like that, and they can tempo it out. Our hand's actually very slow, all things considered. So we're gonna pass here. Gonna wait for them to respond. Yeah, hello. There's a sequencing involved. So now I think I have to. I'm kind of committed at this point. I was playing Lightning Strikes in the deck for a while. Okay, so they just don't have a spell. This is kind of like 3 points of damage. So the interesting line here, because my next turn is going to be these two. I could play the Ferocidon from hand, but Ferocidon dies. At least this gets 2 points of damage in. I don't think this is a Ferocidon matchup. Yeah, we see the Wizard's Lightning. So, at least I got 2 points, but we're probably in a bad spot. Because now they're just gonna, like, destroy me. Guess we could Robber and hope. Oh, we're just dead. This does so much damage. I don't know why you're saying oops. So, I do have reach here. They could Reckless Impulse. Could have like Reckless Rage. Okay, so they would need another Reckless Impulse to get me. A Reckless Charge, yeah. So now I'm dead. Yeah, that matchup's terrible. That was part of the reason like I've been less high on mono red in Historic, just with the prevalence of Wizards. Now Wizards does lose to itself a lot. It's not great against Angels, Life Gain, stuff like that, because their damage isn't that... Like, their burn doesn't necessarily coincide. The Soulscar Mage draw was pretty unfortunate. Let's try this out. So I'm more comfortable with this hand. That other hand we wanted to see how Ambergris did. Okay, so it's probably a combo deck. Trap Finder would seek for some other stuff. Could just be like value goblins. Just value goblins. Interesting, they didn't want to take the block there. So this might be a matchup where Chainwhirler is actually relevant. What does this cadet do? When it becomes blocked, you get a 1/1. Okay, so we're going to stomp Battle Cry. Always hold this as long as possible. Okay, so they're just goblins using Trap Finder to get kind of value out of it. Kind of sucks though that this doesn't, it's only mana 3 or less, so you can't get Krenko. Because otherwise Krenko with haste, even though it dies at end of turn, seems pretty value add. You have 2 lines here, we have Torbran or we have Cleave. I think we want to bait out the... So that's pretty free, because then this dies, and then the Lord effect goes off, so then that's a 1/1, so they just die there. I basically replace my 1 mana 1/1 for another 1/1. I get to do a point of damage here, and then Torbran comes in as a 3/5. Some interesting choices of goblins. Seems less combo, trying to be a little bit more beat down. Bye, friends. Alright. I want to do some Ambergris stuff. I could go to Frost, like... I need 3 damage in this deck for that matchup. Because 3 damage also plays around 1 prowess trigger. It might just be like you kind of tank that Izzet deck. I think this hand's fine. We're not super aggressive, but if it's not a matchup where removal matters, I can go face. This is a matchup where removal matters. That's the worst draw we could have had. I think regardless, we're going to go Bone Crusher here. It's kind of bad if they have like Spell Pierce. Yeah. Alright, Frost and down, and then I have double here. So there's like tempo, iteration, okay, Delver, take 1. They take 5. Does Delver flip? Does. Don't know if they're going to be on like Fading Hopes. They could be on like Molten Impact. Okay, it's a good start. Means they don't have an answer in hand. They dig in. So they are wizards. So it's wizards with like a bad draw. Okay, so we see that come down. I think we're going to do this, but not discard. If they want to trade their Delver, I think that's fine. Because then this will come in as a 3/5, and then I can do the Ambergris. Because if they don't, like, they're basically left empty board with me having a Ferocidon and a Kumano. Untapped line's a good draw because I can also den. I have Ramanap Ruin for 2 points of damage. You can't block that. Okay. Interesting decision. This could be a counter spell, but that taps them out. Okay, Fading Hope. So they are more tempo oriented. So they're digging. 3/5 will be somewhat difficult for them to deal with. We will attack first here, see what they play, and then make a decision. I do think the tempo-oriented version's not bad. It's actually good. fine. So I could kill him now, but I want to tax their mana and get them that way. So this version having less burn was kind of advantageous for us, while they kind of screwed up our sequencing a little, being able to get in. Ambergris trading with Delver there. If we didn't have 2 Torbrands, if it was just kind of random creatures, it's probably an okay flip. But in that matchup, 4 toughness with the added damage, like Kumano potentially dealing 3 is advantageous. They're kind of priced into even potentially using multiple spells to kill it, to which point then we get the value of having the second copy if they're using like 2 burn spells. Let me go first, keep this hand. So when you have hands like this, you want to play your utility lands because you're cool with getting rid of the other copies. So if this is Elves, we were hoping that they didn't have Llanowar on 1, just so they can't play like a big lord. Because Ferocidon down can put enough tax on them that it could be advantageous. Okay, so we see War Master, no other play. Cool. Here, like, you can see where Ambergris is going to come in handy here. Now, if they do have Collected Company, it's pretty bad. But the configuration of my hand is not going to allow us. Okay, we see Archdruid here. So I think we're going to do this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'd be 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If they just want to pump there. Ambergris could potentially get me. I can take them off a Llanowar elf, but you're going to get the pump anyway, so I think we're just not blocking here. So how much damage can I do here? That's 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're gonna do this. Gonna discard my hand. I need a burn spell. Would have been good. I think they attacked wrong. So they meant to attack with this and hold this back. So now they're probably dead. I'll take 2 damage here, but I can play this lined out, Ambergris this, and get the value. So, opponent probably had that game locked up. And this is where the matchup where having the extra fight with fires is good. You can see how that board state was set up. That chainwhirler doesn't do anything for us there. Come on. You know, Arena's been kind of dumb lately, so let's just reset on the off chance it was us. Just in case. I think they're just salty. Yeah, they're just salty. You made a mistake, opponent. You can suck it up, or you can just cry. They're opting to cry. Yeah, I'm looking right now at my untapped stats. So everything, I have all winning matchups except against Izzet Wizards where I'm 9 and 11, and then green-black food, which has effectively been nerfed out of the format, which was 0 and 4. Everything else I have positive win rates. Dig Ambergris. Ah, we were one off cleave too. Send a message. That was a great demo of Ambergris. Just kind of fueling our deck. They were 9, 10. I think they're alive. Had it not been for the draw there of Stomp, if they actually put a block on. They weren't allowed to play creatures though, so we were locking them out of the game. With double Ferocidon, every creature that came into play deals 6 damage to them. Elves can be tricky too. But the way the meta is shaping up, I don't think it's unreasonable even to revisit life gain. Always get your continuous damage in this matchup if it's wizards. We have that option there. Wall of Blossoms. So this is Neoform. So it's a bit tricky because we can't really go guards down against Neoform. Yeah. Wouldn't mind another 1-drop or some more lands. That's good. For future turn. So I can give him the Wish Claw back. I think I want to do this to find a land. Because next turn I could play Ferocidon and then have a copy up of Play with Fire. I could get their haste out of the way. Maybe that was wrong. Yeah, I think I screwed that up. I should have just played Ferocidon out. I fucked that up. Yeah, should have gone Ferocidon. With the 2 creatures out, I was playing too conservative. Ferocidon, they get 8, 9, 10, so I deal 10 damage, but they still have enough to kill me there. What I needed to do was shock the thing if they blocked. Yeah, that was bad on my part. The wall's a little tough. That was poor sequencing on my part. Sounds good. You give this haste. Nice aggressive start. Ambergris is probably the best draw beyond this, or an Embercleave. Got a World Tree Gamer. Again, play your utility lines other than Sokuzan early. So it's just flash. This could be like Cauldrons. See what their third color potentially is. If it's like double red, we might just set up. What else could be like Sultai Ultimatum, Wizards class. I think here. I think I'm gonna do this. I don't want to play into a sweeper here, because I can stomp if they don't sweep, and then I have access to Castle Embrand. Their mana base isn't that good, and their head explodes. That's the big thing with this mono red deck. Like all these jank piles people bring out, they just lose. Pissed at that Neoform matchup. I played that poorly. There's definitely a way we don't lose that, and the way I played it, we lost it. We had 2 burn spells. Opponent goes first. I have removal. I think we're okay. We do need another land for this hand. Leyline. Get a Leyline Gamer. The hell is this? $846, so just like control with instant speed sweepers. Just gonna pass here. They're already at 10. See ritual here. They get like free kill with this. Like at this point I have 6 points of potential burn. Ah, Tasha.
What other little quest you're on? I am
Ambergris is
here.
also good afterwards. This is interesting because I need to... I think we're just going face, honestly. We can play into a sweeper here, but I'm kind of stuck. I think I like this. Don't want to take action here. No.
The veil of reality.
Like, I don't know what type of life gain they have, if any. Ferocidon can hopefully help with that. So we see Blood Chief's Thirst, which isn't going to do much here. So this goes around the Tasha sequencing, and now if they hit my Bone Crusher Giant, so they have to take my Bone Crusher Giant off, otherwise they die, but then they die. So that was sick. Forget Leyline. They want to do instant speed sweepers. Alright, I'm liking this version. I think it gives you good flexibility. The Wizards matchup is still rough. Neoform's going to get you sometimes. But let me know what you think. If you've been playing any Historic Mono Red, how you've kind of configured. If you've got any tech for the Wizards matchup, let me know. But I'm going to wrap this one up. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you have a great one, and stay safe out there.